If you've thought about moving to Fort Collins, you've probably thought about things like mortgage payments or rent rates, as well as property taxes. But the truth is, in Fort Collins, there's actually hidden expenses that most people don't plan for. In today's video, I'm going to go over the 7 hidden expenses so you can plan better for your move to Fort Collins. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe because I do weekly insights, all things Fort Collins on this channel. Let's get into it. Number 1 is metro districts. So this one I find surprises a lot of people for moving out of town. While they're not exclusive to Colorado, they aren't that common. They are common here in Fort Collins with all the new construction. Colorado relies on metro districts for new developments to make sure that they pay their own way and using their own financing infrastructure instead of using funds from existing towns and cities. Many newer neighborhoods in Fort Collins fall inside what we call a metro district or special district. These metro fees cover things like roads, parks, and sewer systems through what's called a mill levy, and they will show up on your property taxes each year. Depending on the neighborhood, this can add hundreds of dollars to your monthly payment compared to homes that are older or not in a metro district. When comparing neighborhoods, make sure that you keep this in mind. Older neighborhoods in Fort Collins don't have metro districts typically. So if you're looking for a house and don't want an additional metro district payment, looking in older neighborhoods in the area definitely helps. A good way to navigate that is maybe looking in a little bit older neighborhoods, more established neighborhoods that have been built a while, homes in the 90s and even some in the early 2000s. They might have an HOA, which is its own animal.
What if the HOA finds out about this?
But just know that if you are looking at newer construction, a newer neighborhood, and new builds, it will typically have a metro district fee tacked onto the price. This can be several $100s, and it is to make sure that infrastructure is paid for by the residents. If you're not sure whether the home you're looking at is in a metro district or what it means for your budget, make sure you reach out. Me and my team are happy to help you navigate that. My contact information is in the description below. All right, number 2 is capital expansion and impact fees. If you are building new construction or doing major renovations on your house, Fort Collins charges what are known as capital expansion fees. These are one-time costs developers and homeowners pay to help fund new infrastructures and things like public services, police, fire, and parks. For larger homes, these fees can add up to thousands of dollars on top of normal construction costs. They are not a part of your mortgage, and so you're going to have to plan for these. It's important to factor them in early so you're not caught off guard. Okay, number 3 is weather and seasonal maintenance costs. Now, Fort Collins has 4 very distinct seasons, of course, and that means that homeowners need to prepare a variety of ongoing maintenance expenses. Each winter, you'll need to blow out your sprinkler systems and irrigation lines and exterior faucets to prevent them from freezing. A lot of people hire people to do this. Some do it on their own, but I recommend always hiring a professional so it's done correctly. Damage to sprinkler systems is common if you don't know what you're doing and can be very costly. So make sure that you're getting the correct people in there to do that. Depending on where you're at, you may need to purchase equipment to manage your sidewalks in the wintertime. If you have a sidewalks, you may want to purchase a snowblower to help ease the workload of clearing your sidewalks when it does snow. It is regulated by the city that you must clear your sidewalks. You cannot leave snow on your sidewalks. Also, maybe purchasing de-icer if you have a north-facing house or if your sidewalk is on the north side. It tends to stay icy throughout the winter due to the angle of the sun. Just making sure that your sidewalks are clear is another expense. If you are unable to clear your sidewalks, you might need to hire people. A lot of people hire neighborhood kids, but there are services here in Colorado that offer that as well. Keeping that in mind for winter. The spring and summer brings a own host of things, mainly which is hail damage. It is common here in Colorado for homes to experience hail damage on roofs as well as siding. So keeping that in mind. Although insurance does help cover this, you'll need to account for your premium. So just keeping those expenses in mind. We typically have a few hailstorms each summer, keeping your car in the garage, things like that, so you don't have any unexpected costs as well there. I've known people that have had extensive hail damage to their car, totaling it in value. It is a factor here in the spring and summer. In addition to that, regular gutter cleaning, HVAC servicing, and maintaining good insulation are also a part of the local routine, and many newcomers underestimate. So here in Colorado, we do run our HVAC systems pretty frequently because we do have colder winters. And so just making sure that you're changing out your air filters, getting them serviced, and so they're working properly in your home. Number 4 is electricity and energy surplus hours. Here's another one that people often miss: the city's time of day electricity rates. Fort Collins Utilities charges different rates depending on power usage. During peak hours, energy costs are nearly 3 times higher than non-peak hours. From May through September, on-peak hours are weekdays from 2 to 7. And from October through April, they shift to weekdays from 5 to 9 p.m. If you're running things like your air conditioning, laundry, dishwasher, higher electricity appliances, you're going to be paying premium rates, around 30 cents per kilowatt compared to 8 cents per kilowatt.
Oh my God!
Again, almost 3 times as much. Over the course of the year, this can make a huge difference. It can add hundreds of dollars to your energy bill. In order to keep costs down, making sure that you're being aware of those hours and running appliances during non-peak hours. So maybe starting the dishwasher on a 3-hour delay. If you're running it after dinner, you can run it after 9 p.m. So to help keep costs down, just being aware of when you're running your bigger appliances, things like your AC and your dishwasher and your refrigerator. You can't really not run your refrigerator, but things like your dishwasher, washer and dryer, you can maybe set for after 9 p.m. if you do want to run the dishwasher overnight. And just being aware of those peak hours. People also invest in solar if they own the home. It does help alleviate a lot of costs associated with your electric bill. It's super common here in Fort Collins. You'll see it all over the city in old and new homes alike. Some of the newer builds incorporate solar into the roofing panels, which is pretty cool. So I'm curious to see if you've experienced these high on-peak electricity bills from Fort Collins. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear how you're managing your energy and what's working for you. Number 5 is stormwater and utility fees. The city charges stormwater fees based on how much runoff your property generates, meaning the longer your driveway and the more roof line you have, the more stormwater you're going to produce and the bigger your monthly bill will be. In addition, water, wastewater, and stormwater utility have been increasing due to funding infrastructure upgrades. In 2025 alone, for example, Fort Collins Utility raised the rates roughly 6 to 7%. Across the categories, these are steady ongoing costs that are expected to increase each year. So just making sure that you are planning ahead for these costs and expecting a 6 to 7, somewhere in that ballpark, increase in these stormwater and utility costs each year will help you mitigate these additional hidden costs that not a lot of people know. Number 5 is trash and waste fees. Fort Collins has a volume-based trash system, meaning it is a pay-as-you-throw system. If you're used to a flat rate system, this can be an adjustment. Maybe you don't use that much trash or consume that much, but households that don't recycle efficiently or have larger families may have noticeably higher bills for their trash and recycling services. One way to mitigate this is to be aware of how much you consume, making sure that you're recycling everything properly, disposing of things properly, whether it be recycling or even if it can be composted. We do have a green service here in Fort Collins. We have different services you can choose from, whether it be City of Fort Collins, Waste Management, Republic Services. They're all competitive. In some areas in Fort Collins, you can shop around and pick from different services. In other areas, like my area, there's only one company that comes out, so it's Republic Services. So it depends on the area, but just being aware of how much you're consuming and how much you throw away and recycle will help mitigate these costs. All right, so the final hidden cost, number 7, is the transportation costs. Even though Fort Collins is a super bike-friendly town, has a great bike-friendly reputation, most residents still rely on cars in daily life just due to our sheer lack of public transportation, which I touched on in other videos. Car insurance in Larimer County can be higher than expected due to recent statewide increases. Factoring fluctuating gas prices, maintenance and registration fees, and transportation can quickly become a more overlooked cost of living in the city. So there you have it. Those are the 7 hidden costs of living in Fort Collins. When you add up these costs, Metro District taxes, seasonal maintenance costs, utility surcharges, and transportation, Fort Collins still remains a fantastic place to live, but it is important to make sure that you are aware of these costs and come in with realistic expectations. These expenses aren't meant to discourage you from living here, but just simply create a clear picture of the finances you may incur. Understanding the upfront costs help you budget accurately and enjoy everything that Northern Colorado offers without any financial surprises. If you're planning to relocate to Fort Collins or anywhere in Northern Colorado, preparation is key. I specialize in helping families and individuals make a smooth transition and understand hidden costs to find them the right neighborhoods and fit their lifestyle. I hope that you found this helpful. Hit that like button, subscribe for more real estate and relocation insights, and comment below with any questions about moving to Fort Collins. My team and I would be happy to help you in any way. We can help you buy, sell, invest here in Fort Collins. My contact info is in the description below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.